Hello everyone, Squared Circle Wrestling is back with another episode which includes major update regarding Tony Khan's high-level meeting with CM Punk, Chris Jericho and FTR. Did MJF confirms Goldberg AEW signing with now deleted tweet. Update on Goldberg's changed WWE retirement plans. Saraya threatens AEW president Tony Khan. Jeff Hardy is not going to stop drinking, warns WWE veteran. Former WWE champion creates an undesired record. And much more. You can check the complete list with time chapters in the description box below. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel for all the latest news. Our top story looks at major update regarding Tony Khan's high-level meeting with CM Punk, Chris Jericho and FTR. Tony Khan is said to be having an important meeting with the former WWE stars. Among the stars attending the meeting are Chris Jericho, FTR and CM Punk. The meeting seems to be a step towards reducing locker room tension and creating a pathway for CM Punk's return to AEW. Wade Keller, during the latest PW Torch audio show, said that most in the locker room are unsure of a positive outcome of this meeting. Among the people I've talked to, there's not a high level of confidence that the meeting is going to go well, that it could make things worse, but maybe not. Maybe things will work out. He also mentioned that some believe FTR being part of the discussion will not help resolve the issues either. But people who have been around Punk, know people who have known Punk for a very long time, are not optimistic that FTR mediating a meeting between Jericho and Punk is going to lead to progress. He also stated that people advised Tony Khan to listen to the current locker room leader Chris Jericho. Jericho is the closest confidant of Tony Khan right now. I don't know how often, but there's times where it's like, where's Tony? Oh, he's in Chris' hotel room, or he's off in this restaurant booth talking to Chris. There are people in that company who tell Tony, listen to Chris, he's been around. You can't trust anybody 100%, but Chris isn't like some secret agent who's sabotaging AEW. Next up, did MJF confirms Goldberg AEW signing with now deleted tweet. Ever since Goldberg's contract with the WWE expired and news broke that the WCW legend is a free agent, fans have been debating the idea of Goldberg appearing in Tony Khan's promotion. AEW president Tony Khan discussed the idea earlier this month, opening the door for Goldberg to work at AEW. While there is no real information yet to show that this is happening, AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman mentioned the possibility in a recent tweet. Friedman wrote in response to a report that Goldberg was meeting in Los Angeles to discuss potential events for a supposed retirement tour. MJF tweeted, "I'd beat the living shit out of this roided-up Jew." Shortly after posting the tweet, Friedman removed the tweet from his page. AEW World Champion addressed Goldberg in a previous interview, saying that the former WWE star would be having panic attack while holding the microphone. Would you like to see Goldberg facing MJF at AEW? Let us know in the comments below. Next up, update on Goldberg's changed WWE retirement plans. Andrew Zarian reported that WWE had previously planned for Goldberg's retirement match, but that plan changed after Vince McMahon retired in July 2022. This story is interesting because Vince McMahon told him that he could have a proper retirement in the company, and Paul Heyman was working on it. Apparently the idea was good. He liked Heyman's idea, and Vince's scandal happened and it put the kibosh on everything. Same time this was happening, you heard the story that Brock was pissed off. Brock left. Then the TV-14 stuff was going on. Next up, Saraya threatens AEW president Tony Khan. In a recent interview, AEW star Saraya spoke to Metro UK about AEW All In at London, where she sends a warning to Tony Khan. "I feel so fortunate to think that, hopefully I'm on the show. Tony, I'll hunt you down. I know where you work, I'll beat your ass. I kick everyone's ass. Hopefully it's a package deal with the Outcasts." And then you have people like Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, all these people coming along. There are so many different emotions. I feel like being there is gonna make me cry, in a good way. It's just a homecoming kind of thing. I haven't performed there in a long time, so it's gonna be good to be in front of my home country people too. Next up, Jeff Hardy is not going to stop drinking, warns WWE veteran. Speaking on the Storytime with Dutch Mantel podcast, former WWE manager Zeb Coulter spoke about Jeff Hardy. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Jeff Hardy is not going to stop drinking. He may, but he has shown us in the past that he's not going to stop. And he still goes out, he's still drinking. Now when they arrest him, which may be after he has killed somebody or himself, they'll say, well, we tried to do the best we can. People like that need to be put away for a while. He also commented about Jeff Hardy's in-ring style speaking. While he could have been drinking too, if he was moving slow. Jeff needs to realize he is not 22 anymore. I mean those high-flying moves and death-defying moves. Yeah, it got him to where he is today, but at a price. And after you get older, you feel it more. You come off that ladder and whatever he came off from, I mean that's a hell of a bump for even a young guy. While I respect his desire to do that, his body can't do it anymore. And it takes one of those moves, then he's paralyzed. Next up, Jim Cornette says controversial star needs to return to AEW. Wrestling legend Jim Cornette recently said that former AEW World Champion CM Punk should come back to AEW to continue his feud with MJF for the AEW title. So basically, it's been 5 months. He's defended the title that we can think of twice. I don't think the reign is bad yet, because I don't think it started yet. And the way that they're moving, it might not for a while. And also, again, there's nobody for him to wrestle that. You know, Darby Allin, if they were concentrating on as a single, I think they've got something there. Jungle Boy gets F-King in the way. Sammy, please let's get over that right now, and Punk needs to come back. Punk and MJF the next go round with the shoes on the other foot should be big, if the EVPs don't get their way and piss Punk off so bad that he refuses to return. Next up, Jim Ross says he supported Vince McMahon's decision to suspend WWE Champion without pay. On his Grilling JR podcast, Jim Ross explained why McMahon had no choice but to suspend then WWE Champion RVD for 30 days without pay. Well, we had to get it off the front page, so to speak. I think we handled it fine. We just followed policy. The policy was 30-day suspension without pay and you get a strike. We just followed policy. Connie, I think is the best way I can explain it to you. We were aware of what the policy was and the talents had agreed to the policy by signing the contract. We just followed the rules. He added about Vince's decision of taking both titles away from RVD. You had to, Conrad, you had to. You had to. I mean, it went public. It got out there. It made a headline. They had police involvement. All this other shit. They shouldn't have been speeding. Look, here's the issue, real simple. If you're not speeding, you ain't gonna get stopped. Next up, Charlotte Flair reportedly taking break from WWE. Former SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair missed this week's SmackDown. An update from PW Insider sheds light on Charlotte Flair's status during her hiatus. Charlotte Flair is not scheduled for tonight's Friday night SmackDown. We are told she and her husband Andrade are now planning to travel internationally after she informed WWE she was taking time off during WrestleMania 39 weekend. They had been in Hawaii for some time after Mania in Los Angeles. Next up, how much Goldberg reportedly earned from each Saudi Arabia show. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Goldberg cashed in some huge paycheck on each of the 4 occasions he worked in Saudi Arabia. Goldberg made so much money for so few matches in his WWE deal, reportedly $2 million for each of his Saudi Arabia matches, and for AEW, that kind of money per match simply isn't cost effective. Next up, Triple H has put Megastar's major title change on hold. The Wrestling Observer is now reporting that due to Ronda's ongoing injury issues, Triple H has been forced to put the title change on hold until the former SmackDown Women's Champion is cleared to wrestle. The chase of the women's tag title is on hold because Rousey is still out of action with her broken forearm. She did WrestleMania because it was WrestleMania but was clearly not ready and still isn't ready to return. Next up, former WWE Champion creates an undesired record. Sheamus has been delivering best performances of his career for a while now on the Blue brand. At WrestleMania 39, he competed in a hard-hitting triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship against Drew McIntyre and Gunther. Many fans aren't aware of the fact that the former WWE Champion hasn't won a singles match on TV for exactly a complete year now. On the April 22, 2022 episode of SmackDown, he defeated Kofi Kingston in singles match. Since then, he has not won a singles match on WWE TV. Next up, Naomi is too expensive for NJPW. Dave Meltzer reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter about Naomi that NJPW were offered the opportunity to bring in Naomi, but ultimately rejected the former WWE star due to budgetary concerns. Bushiroad's professional wrestling division, which includes New Japan and Stardom, has taken a major financial hit in recent years due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and the division is under pressure to keep spending down. After they were offered the chance to bring in Naomi, but the promotion decided against it as they felt Trinity Fatu would cost too much. Next up, EC3 says that the WWE system especially beat down current AEW star. During the latest episode of Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Outlaws, former TNA champion had to say this about Miro and his AEW booking. Sometimes I wonder, like, when you come in with that hope and promise, and then the creative's that bad, at what point, cause a system can beat you down. The WWE especially probably beat him down, where he comes in optimistic, fresh, ready. That's kinda how it starts, where he's just like, dude, I don't care. I have a guaranteed contract. Whatever, my wife's hot. We're happy. Or was there like that urge in him, that fight, to be like, no, this is stupid. Here's what we need to do. Or did he just go, yeah, whatever. You're paying me. I don't care. And that is all for today's news. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Squared Circle Wrestling for all the latest updates.